Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And we are on verdict watch right now in this YNW Melly trial. I tried to get myself together real quick because I am shocked right now at what is going on in the court. Everybody is on the edge of their seats, and I'm like, child, I done threw some grease on me, child. Everybody's at the edge of their seats trying to find out what is about to happen. So we're going to watch this. If y'all come into my live, we're going to watch it together. We're going to get a live reaction as to if it is going to be a mistrial. Now, what just happened in the case, the jury has been deliberating for a total of almost 7 hours. Now, if you guys don't know, they have been sequestered. So what that means is, and let me share this screen because we got to know what's going on as it's going on, child. Okay, we have to know what is going on as it's going on, and we're going to be watching this together. So what happened so far is they have been deliberating for almost 7 hours. Now, yesterday at the start of their deliberation, they had to be sequestered. Okay, so they had to be sequestered in a hotel. So how this all works is between the hours of 9 to 5 is the time that the court allots for them to deliberate in this case. Now, after 5 p.m., they are then put in a hotel and they are sequestered. They can't use their computers. They can't use their phones. They have to turn in all their electronics. They have to turn in all of their devices. They have no contact with their families or anything like that. So here we are on day 2, where if they don't reach a decision today, they're going to have to go back and being sequestered without any of their devices, away from their family. And honestly, I feel like at this point, they just want to be done with it. A lot. And that's what I predicted yesterday is I thought the verdict would be I thought the verdict would absolutely be guilty. But I thought that the verdict would come in today because I was like, I highly doubt they're going to want to have to be sequestered throughout the weekend and be away from their family. So they first got into court and they requested to get back the testimony of Cortland Henry, somebody by the name of Mr. Kelly. And I think that's the gun expert who testified towards the inside of the gun. Like he gave everybody the knowledge of the inside of the gun. I think that's who that one was. And he was like the super boring one, the super long, super boring, super, oh my God. So they requested Cortland Henry's, I guess his confession to the cops or whatever about this being a drive-by. They requested Travion Glass, and they requested Mr. Kelly. So the court reporter, she said that she will not be able to have Mr. Kelly's testimony until tomorrow. So they would have to wait a whole day to be able to get the testimony, the other testimony that they have. So they're like, okay, well, we no longer want to hear Cortland Henry's. Just read back for us Travion Glass. So the court reporter reads back Travion Glass testimony. It takes a very long time because she has to read line by line by line. The defense basically requested that they just show the video. Like, we have the video. Like, let's not make them wait. Let's show them Mr. Kelly's testimony. Let's show them Travion's Glass testimony, and let's just show them video of it since we have video of it, and show it to them at the same time. So what happened was the judge said, no, we're just going to share with them what's on the record. Okay, we're just going to share with them the court reporter accounting, and the court reporter cannot give Mr. Kelly's testimony until tomorrow, so they have to wait for that. So we're just going to read for them Travion Glass testimony. And So the court reporter, she goes in, she's playing with her hair, she's, reading Travion Glass testimony. And after they get Travion Glass testimony back, they go back into the jury room to deliberate some more. Now, once they go back to deliberate, somebody snitched on somebody. Okay. One of the people in the jury room snitched on one of the other people in the jury, and they said that one of them is up in there with an Apple Watch, and they, to their knowledge, is not supposed to have an Apple Watch. So then, in addition to them sending in this message saying that somebody has an Apple Watch, in addition to that, they also, the foreperson sent in a note and was like, what happens if we can't come to a decision? It seems like each side is stuck on their position, and we want to know what happens if we can't come to the decision. So they bring the jury back in, and the jury basically, or the judge basically instructs them on their rights as it pertains to if they're deadlocked. So he first asked them about the Apple Watch. He says, hey, does anybody have on an Apple Watch? So according to the judge, everybody raised their hand to show that they don't have an Apple Watch, and nobody admitted to having an Apple Watch. So then after that, the judge read, I guess it's called the Allen rule. And he basically read the instructions that say that they have a right to not come to a decision. Like, it's within their right to not come to a decision. However, he prefers them to go back. It's up to them if they want to continue deliberating or not deliberating. But he's asking them to at least go back and let each person say why they have their position and start there first. Or if they want to decide that they are deadlocked, then he is going to be forced to declare a mistrial. So he left it up to them whether they want to continue deliberating right now, or if they want to say, listen, we're done with it and we just want a mistrial. So right now we are basically waiting. And somebody said, why are you yelling? This is how I talk. So you must be new here. This is how I talk, period. Where's my moderators? Because hold on, let me open up another stream, because it seems like random weirdo Melly fans who normally ain't on my channel are over here, and we might need to escort them out. Is any of my moderators in the chat? Because baby, go to Law and Crime. Law and Crime Network is biased towards Melly. They think that, they sway everything which way that to him. So if that's the commentary that you want to hear, go over there. I think he's guilty. And okay, well, go to where the commentary suits you. You want somebody to think that that's somebody that appears to clearly have killed their friend. If you want me to ignore the evidence, child, go to where the commentary suits you. Anyways, so like I was saying, the judge basically is giving them the opportunity to make up their mind whether they want to deliberate or not. So we are in watch. We see somebody going in and out the door. I don't know who's going in and out the door, but in the meantime, while we wait, I'm going to put the StreamYard link in the chat. Only people who are on video will be able to come up. But if you guys, what are your thoughts? I'm flabbergasted. Now, I knew that there was a chance that it could be a hung jury, but I'm like, y'all, like, at least wait to the end of the day. Like, they're not even waiting to the end of the day to say, listen, we want to get up out of here. That's like, I thought for sure, like, if it was going to be not guilty, guilty, hung jury, or whatever, I thought that would come in at the last, like, 10 minutes of the day, and they were going to decide that at the last minute. But being that they didn't even get halfway through the day today, and they were like, listen, we're done. Like, we're done. It's crazy to me. So I want to hear what you guys say. Only people that are on camera will be able to be coming up. And for those of you guys who don't know what hung jury means, hung jury does not mean Melly gets to go free. Hung jury means that they will just get a new jury unless the judge miraculously, because I'm sure the defense is going to put in another motion to mistrial with prejudice, or with or without prejudice, however it goes. One of them means that they can't try it again, unless the judge miraculously grants it to be done where they can't do it again. Hung jury normally means that they are going to come back, retry the case, and everything like that. All right, so I see Anthony, he turned on his camera, then turn it off. All right, Anthony, what are your thoughts? Anthony?
Free Melly.
Okay, you just wanted to troll. Anyways, anybody else want to come up? Let me know. Let me know. Anybody else want to come up? In the meantime, we are basically watching to see what is happening. With prejudice means they can't do it again. Okay, y'all know what I mean, though. One of them meant you can't do it again, but that's highly unlikely. So the latter would normally be that the prosecution gets to brush up their case, they get to come back, and they get to do this all over again. So Dre, what is your thoughts?
I think it's a win for the defense to get a hung jury, because I mean, it's a win for the defense if they get a hung jury, but at the same time, it's also bad because, like you said, they can come back, and some of the stuff that they weren't able to put in because they didn't put it in enough time before trial, they'll be able to bring that evidence back. Like,
and Track decided to show his butt up, so now they're going to be able to subpoena Track. They're going to be able to interview Glass, and they're going to be able to try to get these where people dropped the ball and they thought that it was scot-free. They're going to try to be able to get Mariah, and all these people.
Her mother to come back.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, that's the bad thing about it, because if they able to retry and they get all them ducks in a row, that's going to make it that much harder. So it's a win now, but it doesn't mean it's a win of the war. So they win in the battle if that happens, but not the war. And I think, honestly, that if it does come back like that, they get hung and they retry him again, it would be more convinced that he's going to get found guilty that time, just because, like you said, they're going to be able to have all their ducks in a row, and they done did this before, so they know exactly what you're going to say as a defense. They know exactly the points to even cover up your points now. So and
they're able to use whatever was said in this trial
in the next trial.
So they're able to be like, well, you said he got out and got a pee. Now you saying he didn't get out and pee? Like, so they're going to be able, like, they're stuck to that defense in the next trial also.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So that's something else that's not in defense favor, because they're not going to be able to come up with a new defense now. They're going to have to stick with that one. And if the prosecution can stick more holes in it, it's over for them. So but the only good thing about the defense is maybe they could possibly work on some experts who might be able to contradict some of their experts and try to make it hard. Yeah, but I don't see how they would make the trajectory work. But I mean, only thing I could think of is maybe they have somebody come in and say, well, if somebody was left-handed, could it change the trajectory of somebody who was right-handed? Like maybe something stupid like that. But you can't, like, that drive-by. Come on, bro. Like, there ain't no way around that. There's no way around it, because they were both shot on the left side, not the right side. So that's not going. Trajectory is really not going to help you anyway.
And then they were shot on the left side, but the stage drive-by was on the right side.
On the right side, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like that, it doesn't make sense. And then they already had the glass matching the car at the scene that they quote unquote think where they got killed at. Remember, they got the glass where they turned around. So I mean, it's so much work already working against the defense that a hung jury now, like I said,
they're hung. Like, I'm like, who can't tell other than a Melly fan, unless they have, what I'm saying, who can't tell? Like,
but that's the only thing about juries. Like, and what I think a lot of people don't understand is they don't have to think that he's innocent. They just, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to understand that, like,
Don't fit like the death, and they could be hung up on the death penalty aspect of it too.
yeah, is that, and also like, because the, like, my whole thing is, what I've been saying is the prosecution has proved that the murder happened, but the only key detail that they haven't been able to pinpoint, but that the defense has been working hard with, is not having him exactly on pinpoint on the scene. You have his phone on the scene, but like the defense brought up, so what if he left his phone? That right there was enough reasonable doubt for some people to be like, well, you get what I'm saying? Like, they possibly could believe it. I don't see how they could believe it, because he was making video chats after that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, the phone left around the same time that quote unquote Fredo Brain came to pick them up. So the phones actually split from the hospital. You get what I'm saying? So it's enough evidence to convict them there. But like I said, with you not being able to have them physically on the scene, and then being able to come up with an excuse like that, it makes it crazy. It makes it a little bit harder.
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask a question?
Go ahead.
If they retry this again, could they subpoena other people that they didn't subpoena the first time?
Yep.
Yes.
So this time they can put Track and Frito Bang on the stand.
Yes, if they're
Possibly.
able to be successful with their subpoena.
More so Track than Fredo Brain, because Fredo Brain plead the fifth, so I don't think they'll be able to bring him back, because he already pleaded the fifth. So it's not like they're gonna question him again.
They can get the girlfriend. They can get the mom.
Yeah, Mariah. Yeah,
they can get a lot of people.
But I just thought about another thing that's gonna be hard though, is with this trial being live stream, how is it really you gonna be able to retry him again? Then I think about it, because like, who has not seen? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, who has not seen this trial on live stream? So that's gonna be another angle that's gonna be hard.
Well, that's gonna bias him or prejudice him, because the next jury will likely be more elderly people, people who aren't on the internet, more people who are older, who ain't watching a Y&W Melly trial. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? You know what they're gonna do though? That prosecutor, due to the fact they know it's a high-profile case, they're gonna get their best prosecutor on it this time.
Yeah.
They're gonna get someone that is about that life to come after Melly, because they've been embarrassed how dusty and messy their case was.
Go ahead.
They're gonna do it way better than what they did last time.
Go ahead, pretty much.
Hi, how are you? I just want to say hi to you. Okay, first thing, my thing is, the defense switched their story. The state never switched their story. Everything they've been saying are facts. Everything they are saying, they're able to back up with actual facts and evidence. The defense has not shown any, facts or evidence to what they're saying. And their scenario is changing. It's changed so many times. First, it wasn't Melly's phone. Now it's Melly's phone. Oh, he had to pee, but he lost his phone. Like, no one's ever mentioned that in the 5 years that this case has been going
what up,
on.
Neek?
Yeah.
That he lost his phone. Now all of a sudden he's lost his phone. He had to pee. You see what I'm saying? Defense keeps changing their story. The state's never changed, so I don't understand how it's so hard for this jury to recover.
All right, go ahead, you did.
Hey, what's going on, Neek? Long time no see. How you been doing?
Hey, good. What's your thoughts on the case?
I think, man, YN Melly, man, if he killed his friends, he deserved everything they gonna do to him.
You got people speaking Spanish in the back?
Yeah, these my amigos. That's Paola.
Oh.
That's
Go ahead.
Jose. You know I'm half Mexican.
Okay, finish telling me what you were saying. I didn't know where that sound was coming
from. I say if amigo YN Melly killed his friends, he deserved whatever he got coming. Like, you anytime you do something that wicked, man, I had no mercy for YNW Melly. Like, literally.
Have you been watching the case?
Well, I watched a little bit here and there, Nick. You know, I'm a busy man. So, every now and then I'll check up on it.
Oh,
but
okay.
do I think he did it? Yes. I think he killed his friend because his friend knocked his teeth out and whooped his ass. So, yeah, it make a lot of sense for him to want to kill his friends about money and all that stuff that I've been hearing. it's definitely a motive there for him to do it.
Right. All right.
That's not even the motive that she went with. And like I was telling you yesterday, Neek, I think that the whole thing that really messed her up was the premeditation thing when she tried to bring in premeditation in the motive. When she put up there that the whole Sack and his mom beefing with each other, I think that was a bad move because in those messages, he was actually taking up for Sack against his mom. So I think that was a bad move for her to try to use that as one of the motivations of him, why he wanted to do it. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't get what you're saying, because niggas killing their best friends and their homies all the time in the hood.
No, what I'm saying is the prosecutor used as one of her motives as Melly's mom against Sack Chaser. But in the messages that she showed, he was actually taking Sack Chaser's side over his mother. So I'm saying that hurt her motive. That hurt her whole murder motive theory, because in those messages, the jury's gonna say, well, he's taking up for Sack. So why would he kill him and he's taking up for Sack? I think she messed up with that's one of the major things where she messed up at, is trying to prove her motive.
All right.
Because that right there is contradicting itself.
Yeah, they should have had me on the stand. That's what they should have did. I'm telling motherfuckers,
serve
that nigga.
Wait, Miranda, go ahead.
Oh, I completely agree with the whole, if they're going to come back with all kinds of, basically they're not going to be able to, they had their story, defense had their story. They're going to be able to pull everybody us to the stand, like y'all said. It's just going to be worse for him, I think. I just completely agree with what everybody else is saying. I'm a Melly fan, but I think he's guilty. I don't see how they don't.
So are you shocked at what's happening right now in court?
I am. I really am.
What was your predictions as a Melly fan? I want to hear from a Melly fan. Like, when you're listening to the case, like, what did you think? Like, as you were listening to it, and then as you see, what they are doing now. Like,
I thought it was over, completely over.
How y'all folks doing?
Hey, hold on 1 second. Let her finish. What you say, Miranda?
Like, I thought it was done for. I mean, all the evidence against him. I just don't. I'm surprised. I just think they just want to get out of there, honestly.
Yeah. Zozo, go ahead.
How's everybody doing? All I wanted to say, I don't know how much I missed while I was trying to log into your link, but I'm not a Melly fan. I never even heard Murder on My Mind until a couple of weeks ago when they started reviewing the words and all that sort of stuff. But one thing I gotta say is, you can't convict a person to death based on emotion. If the defense can actually make you doubt one or two of the accusations for the prosecutors, I mean, it just wouldn't be fair. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not biased. I'm just saying, as myself, I wouldn't feel right within myself and say, hey, you know what? The defense did poke a hole through that, but I still think
I think that we all on the panel kind of agree with the death penalty was a stretch. I think that we all kind of agree on that. But there's two different things that they're deciding. They're deciding whether he's guilty of felony murder, and then they're deciding if this was premeditated so that it goes along with the death penalty. So they're deciding two different things. We agree that, I think most of us, all of us on the panel agree that we don't think the death penalty was happening.
It's first degree murder, not felony. Felony murder and first degree is two different type of charges.
Sorry, I stand corrected. My bad. It was something felony, something.
Hey, Nick, I was locked up for murder when I was 17. Police beat me, locked me up, charged me with murder. Person point me out in the lineup. I went to trial, Nick. I was shaking. My feet was like this in trial. And I beat it. Not guilty, So, and I didn't kill nobody. It's just that my name was ringing all through Chicago. The police wanted me in jail since I was a kid. So, I know how this murder
have no evidence on you, then that's different than what Melly got going on.
Man, I had an eyewitness, Nick, pointing me out in the lineup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Oh,
so, an eyewitness ain't shit, though. I ain't had no gun residue on my hand. No other evidence, just her saying it was me. and my lawyer beat that shit. And I was
word against word.
Police beat me. But my point I'm trying to make is the motive of him killing his friends make a lot of sense to me. About money. Majority of the things happen in the world is about money. And then his friend whooped his ass. Like
you cursed again. You gotta go. You can't keep cursing.
See, there you go. Yeah. Hello, y'all. Hello. Can y'all hear me? This is Bless. Hello, everyone.
Go ahead.
How you doing today, Bless?
Hello, everyone. I have followed this case for the last 4 years, 4.5, or however long he's been incarcerated. And let me tell y'all something. There's no way. First of all, I'm glad y'all all agree because only black and brown people get the deaf people or people who are in poverty. So wealthy people don't get it. So the death penalty should have been off the table. I wouldn't even voted for life in prison. I wouldn't even convicted Melly after hearing all the evidence that the prosecutor did not. I hear noise. The prosecutor did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Melly did it. Neek, I thought you did a better job proving when you was on with AK the evidence. Okay, but I'll say this young man, if Melly wasn't a star, it wasn't the motive was not money. Because if the motive was the money, Melly already had 19 million, some say 30 million. He probably was gonna go on a Kanye or Drake level. It wasn't about the money. He didn't knock his teeth out, he knocked his goals out. They've had plenty of fights, plenty of squabbles. If you followed this case, you know what's been going on with these people in groups and dynamics. There's plenty of so me personally, I would have voted based on hearing everything. I would have voted not guilty. Also, Juvie and Sack, rest in peace. They wasn't no choir boys, and so but given that, they would have been two dead N words if Melly wasn't a star. They weren't even going to investigate it. They half investigated Melly money out. With Melly's funds and resources, he was able to walk. They was able to uh, put the prosecution case to shame. Nick, you explained it better than the prosecutor. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. These two men, all these men, Juvie, son, tissue after tissue. I'm going to make your mother need tissue after tissue. Sack, all the accusations against Sack, his life is not worth that. They would have been two dead people and he would have even been charged. But because of his status, they decided to charge him, and that's unfortunate for the family. My condolences. If you follow YN Juvie's father on social media, he said my son was the stepper, my son was the hitter. He said I can't even believe Melly and Portland got that off because Sack and Juvie were the steppers. He talks about all the crimes they committed. Their life wasn't worth death penalty. Melly getting a death penalty or even life in prison. If he did it based on the evidence I saw, he didn't. She didn't prove it. I would have did 10 to 15 years. I'm very sorry to the parents of these young men. They all come from troubled backgrounds, but he did not deserve the death penalty, even life in prison. No, continue on. They parents, you look at some of the dynamics, the family dynamics. I don't blame the parents. You can do all you can, and your son can still hit those streets. But based on the behavior, their characters, no way. Let him walk out of jail today.
All right. Stevie Montage.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah. Are you there? Stevie Montage. Hello. Okay, and I don't know what he got going on. But I mean, I hear what she's saying, but what I would say is what people don't understand is even if you got friends who have had disagreements throughout their life and they're friends and you get little disagreements, when thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars enter the chat, notoriety enters the chat. This is disagreements on a level of we all broke boys, we all trying to come up and everything like that. But once you get a dynamic where this person is seen as a superstar, this person is getting the attention. Sack Chaser, let's be honest, he was not pleasant on the eyes at all, no type of way, any shape, form. You know, so you're seeing your boy who, you know, in the hood, everybody looked at you like the big homie because you big, you brolic, you probably putting in work or whatever. So you got that, you know, that hood ass kissing. But now you're in a dynamic where Melly, the little guy, is getting all the love that you used to get, you know.
Did y'all know it's in the deposition, what SAC is, what he was charged, what
Either
he's
him being
done?
the principal
Wait.
or the one who caused the death of Williams and Thomas.
Oh, they're doing the replay.
It's that simple.
Well, I'm trying to get on my nerves.
Yeah, they doing a replay. Okay, they had me on the edge, child.
I know, right?
I saw that.
I
I'm like,
know.
hold up, because I can see the screen. All right.
In the deposition,
please let me know when they actually stop the well, I could kind of monitor and see when they stop the replay. All right.
in the deposition,
I thought they
You almost had a heart attack, girl.
in the deposition.
What I was saying was the dynamic changes once, you know, how we see each other. You know, I was the big homie. I'm getting the love as the big homie. You the little homie. Right. And now I'm the little homie getting all the love. People not giving me no attention. In the messages, it shows that Fact Chaser was basically saying that, you know, you need to let these people know that I'm the CEO. I'm the CEO. He wanted that, you know, big homie notoriety. So when money get involved to it, egos change, egos amplify, people change, greed, envy enters the chat, you know. So it's different from friends who we all broke and we getting into it to friends who the dynamic is like a landslide. But
did everybody know? And it's, you know, the dash between your birth and your death, it means something. It stands about how you lived your life. In the deposition, Stack was messing with his sisters. He had to wear a bell on his room. He was messing with Bortland's or Judy's sister. These are accusations of molestation. And so the dash between your birth and your death, it means something. And just because you're no longer here on this earth, do people forget your character? You can say, I'm the CEO, just like I can say, oh, I'm the CEO at Nick at Night. But if you don't have a written agreement, and you have to also have it, not all CEOs have exemplary character. We know that. But there are some deep, serious not accusations, because he's been convicted of it, against SAC. And why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because character. They didn't say anything on the stand about Juvy's character or SAC's character. You know, the defense wasn't going to do it. The prosecution couldn't even argue on behalf of them. She said nothing. These men, they went to school. They volunteered in their community. She had nothing to say about their character. You could say Juvie was a nice guy, and I will give you that Juvie was a nice guy. But when you can't even say one thing, she argued for Moretti. She said Moretti, he was a 20-year veteran.
Right there, they don't get his character into the sentencing phase. Like when they start talking about like, oh, this was your character, you had it. Like most of the time, they try to hit you hard at the sentencing phase so that you can weigh that on the sentence. That's normally when I see the characters start to get involved.
Did you see that she brought in Moretti, saying he's a 20-year veteran? He's you know, a 20-year cop. He was in the military. That makes him more credible than somebody like let's say the two friends, the AI, or what's his name, D. I can't think of his real name, Adrian. And then
why she said that is because she had to rebut what the defense put in. The defense put in that Moretti was corrupt. They basically said, like, you trying to shake down witnesses unethically. You magically found evidence. So she had to rebut what was put in evidence. Their character or how good or how bad or whatever, that wasn't put in evidence.
Okay. I can agree with that. But I will say how they live their life. If you in this street life, everybody say, oh, it's the street code, If y'all all four is in the same type of game, Juvy's father, YNW Juvy's father, Christopher Thomas Sr., who's also got his own child molestation. This a whole, you know, these are molestation.
N-word too much, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gonna say it. My bad. I apologize. But your character matters. And so these four young men were all doing the same thing. I would say they were all, not, all doing, maybe street stuff, whatever. And so Juvie's father said that they were the ones that would get out on you. Take that to mean what it is. And that he can't believe that happened, that Bortland and Melly were able to allegedly do that to Sack and Juvie because they were the steppers.
Somebody said go back to the trial. I'm looking at the trial on my bottom screen right now. On the trial, they're just doing a replay. So they're replaying what they previously showed in court. The jury is still deliberating. The time on the clock is 7 hours, 23 minutes. And right now it's just a replay of the defense's closing statements. Thank you, Afros and Hookah, for the donation. Let's see. Stevie 2 Montage, go ahead.
Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I graduated from that area, Miramar. I graduated from Miramar High. I don't know if a lot of things was up around that time because I was there like maybe a month ago. But when they trial when they was talking about like hey, did you go by this place and pull the camera? They said no. And I was like, hold on. I was like, well, if they do a retrial and they come back, can they pull them images if it's still available? Because I know sometimes they clean them.
No business is holding camera footage from 5 years ago. I think it's a wrap for
Understandable.
that. Normally they hold it for like, they want to cycle through, the week to make sure. Like,
yeah, they do.
I don't think that any of those businesses is going to have data backed up 5 years ago. I don't think so. If they do, that's a miracle of a business that they trying to keep records tight. But
definitely that area is all new over there. If you go over there, if you look it up, a lot of that stuff is new too. But in that police station is very refutable. So I think it's more so the police station and the detectives is on trial just as well because of what that area is, what it represents, especially now. You understand what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Somebody in the chat said they're going to offer Melly a deal with time served. I mean, I don't know about time served, but I think that it is possible if there is declared a mistrial that he could get a deal going forward. But I also wonder how this affects Bortland's upcoming trial. And if they have to postpone it until they get Melly situated. Go ahead, Blessings, hot topic. Blessings, are you there? Okay, she cut out. So let's finish watching a little bit more of them replaying the closing.
At the age of 19, based upon the evidence, he was making more money than probably everybody in this courtroom, including us. Number two. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. You okay? Usually the judge stop me immediately. Number two is that Cortland Henry changed his clothes before he went to the hospital. That's what they said just 10 minutes ago. Number three, that there's absolutely no eyewitness.
Oh, wow. Finally, a balanced poll on law and crime. Or more balanced. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Never mind. Majority of people saying not guilty again. It started out balanced. But anyways, they said they'll be back. So right now we are on verdict watch. We are seeing what the verdict will be. We are seeing what is going to happen. And I'm trying to, we have until 2:00 my time and 5:00 their time to basically decide what if they're going to be sequestered for another night, if there's going to be a verdict. Everybody is on the edge of their seats. So I'm trying to wait to see what happens live. Let me see if anybody else is live, because this is crazy. Is AK live, y'all? Let me tell him to come on my live if he's not live. This is definitely crazy. He not live yet. Can you shoot the link again? Okay, I just put. Wait, did I put? Yeah, I just put the link. I already know he gonna go live going crazy. He gonna go live going crazy. King AK did say there's stupid jurors out there, and here it is, right? It's crazy. Zozo, did you have anything else you want to say, or are you just listening in?
Hello?
Yeah, did you have anything you wanted to add, or are you just listening in? You said AK still asleep. He probably is still asleep. Y'all know he be having his cup. What was in his cup? He had a whole bunch of stuff in his cup. Let me see. Somebody said, boy, guilty, my opinion. Let me put up a poll. I want to know what y'all in the chat think. Hold on, let me see if I could make a poll from my phone, because I want to know what the people that's in the chat, because I know, you know, it's whether you a Melly fan or not Melly fan or whatever. Like, I want to know what everyone in the chat thinks. Or can I only do a poll? Wait. You said I was on tracks, but I would love to see you rocking shades. Girl, I look like a bug with shades. It's rare. It is rare that I wear glasses. Like, I don't like the way that I look with glasses. I feel like I look like a bug. Like, whenever I put on glasses, like, everybody, they be having like their little stylish glasses. They be looking all cute. When I put on glasses and I cover up my eyes,
that will implicate this young man to this crime, these crimes. Number 4, they talk about premeditation. I suggest to you there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever to show premeditation. And the last one that we absolutely agree with, and they admit it, the Miramar Police Department lacks the training. Those aren't my words. That was Miss Bradley just an hour ago saying. Not only did Miss Bradley say that, but Sergeant Williams also said they lack the training in one of the worst investigations. That's why I pushed aside their reports. Now, the state produced over 100 exhibits sitting right here on the floor. Ms. Bradley made reference to some of them. They're all here. And I put them on this side of the podium because I suggest to you that this is a smoke screen. I suggest to you that this is open for anybody to interpret any way they want. When I say something sarcastic, you don't know if I'm serious or not. I can tell my colleague, I hate your guts, and it could be joking, and I am joking.
JH said, y'all just saying what I want to hear. Well, JH, tell me what I don't want to hear, okay? Click the link.
All this evidence is.
If they just telling me what I want to hear, then you tell me what I don't want to hear and tell me what you feel like is relevant and pertinent. You think Melly is innocent? Then say that.
Put on this side of the table.
Then vote that. Like, really, what they saying that I just want to hear, because a blind man can.
There's one other exhibit, but it's on a little USB internet thing. And that is
a blind man could see that.
Video leaving the studio, showing the 2 cars and the 8 individuals that left. Sitting on this side of the table is a broken cell phone that Moretti could not tell you whose it was, and the 9807 phone that
girl mad about what
other people do too. These are the 2 key pieces of evidence.
I'm mad that y'all can produce a solid argument against or make an actual logical conclusion. That's what I'm mad about. I'm mad that y'all blindly believe in something without. Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
Who said it?
I am real aggressive. I probably, you know what I'm saying? I probably need a tune-up. Who knows?
And my wife picks it up and sends a message. And it looks like it's coming from me. And sometimes she sends
it might be time for a tune-up. You never know.
Kind of shocked about. But it's, you don't know.
Yes, I'm a Melly fan, but not a D writer. The only reason they want to pin the murder on him is because he is Drake. He is the Little Wayne of their group friend, so he is guilty.
The state called 26 witnesses.
Okay.
I think I counted. And I suggest to you that you should look at 11 witnesses very carefully.
He said
why
that.
Do I say that? Because when you look at these 11 witnesses,
they said that
you will find out
he the Drake of the group.
That there's a conflict in the testimony, that there is a lack of testimony, and the third way.
All right, let's bring up Blessings. Hey, Blessings.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
That's good. I personally think he's guilty, just like a lot of us think he's guilty, besides his fans. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with character of the dead or character of just the little things that people have been saying. The point is that there was some evidence is showing that there was somebody in that back seat, and people got to comprehend this very well. There was somebody in that left passenger seat that shot both of them. And when she demonstrated how Bortland ducked, and there was blood on his back and gunpowder on his shoulder, that does demonstrate that he did duck. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't even know that it was going down. Premeditated murder, you guys, can happen at a blink of an eye. It can just happen where they just think about when somebody has been diagnosed with different personalities, schizophrenia, or any of that sort, mental illness. They can just think, and it can trigger them at that moment, and then they can just do what they have to do, or what they feel they should do. So yes, I would definitely, if I seen him get in the car, his DNA is on that left back passenger's handle. I believe the prosecution. I mean, they came with decent evidence. They may not have presented it very well. You probably would have been better on their neck, to be honest with you. Just as
I be feeling like people be saying I don't explain stuff good too, though. Like, especially when I start to get tired, like my mind can't even.
Like, you ever seen the movie My Cousin Vinny?
My Cousin Vinny, it sounds familiar.
Where they had his cousin represent them on a murder trial, but his cousin's girlfriend was the one that actually helped him get his cousins off that trial. You are the cousin's girlfriend. Like, you would have been able to be there to be present and to help them and to make common sense. So that's what I'm saying about that. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. You should watch it. It's a really good movie. It's a funny movie.
It sounds familiar, but it's probably, so long ago.
Yeah, it's okay. But at the end of the day, he is guilty, even if he's not going to be proven guilty by reasonable doubt. Even if, no matter what, he's guilty. But everybody has their day to serve. No matter if they are in jail, in behind bars, or if they going to be jailed outside of this atmosphere in this world. So that's just all I have to say. He is guilty, and that demonstrate everything. Especially that, like, if the I'm gonna put something in you guys' ear. If the defense was so heavy and so strong on this last person they put up there on a panel, why didn't they do that in the beginning? Why did they allow all this evidence to get through, all this evidence to go through, and then they bring up somebody that's gonna give him an alibi? Get the F out of here. Get the F out of here. That boy sat up there and he perjury. He lied because Melly is they are his food stamps. They are his shoes. They are his clothing. They are everything they need. They need food. They need water. They need light. They need a place to stay, and they need clothing, and they like to be part of that. Melly is that person. So yes, they're gonna find the last person that they can dig up from up 6, 7, 8, 9 feet under the ground to say, oh, he was with us. He got out. They shrugged me, told me to get out the way so he could get in. Why would he do that if he was in a comfortable car?
Yeah, that
it doesn't make no sense. Why would you get out if we're going to the same place at a lot of times? And this is where the prosecutions didn't realize. Sometimes when we go into the same place, sometimes we pass each other up. Sometimes we may stop at a little gas station or somewhere or whatever, and we may not see them. They didn't bring that reasonable doubt up. Like, why would he even get out of a car that was comfortable for him? He was in a comfortable seat. You know what I'm saying? Seat. I mean, he was in a comfortable seat, minding his business. He was tired. He'd been high. He'd been drunk. He'd been drinking Hennessy. Why would he get out that car just to get into a car that's uncomfortable? You see where I'm coming from? And not only that, Bortland needs to take him a plea deal right now, like as of today.
It don't sound like he has one offered right now.
He needs one because
but
I'm tell you something.
If they want to absolutely nail Melly and this goes hung, they might put one on the table just for the simple fact that they want to get him for sure,
Unless they can put somebody in Melly's place.
Hey, y'all.
There's nothing Melly can really do at this moment. You know what I'm saying? But just pray to God and hope, that he gets, that it happens in his favor. But other than that, Bortland really needs to take a plea deal, because the way I look at it, hey, I need you to get these two people out so that we can have you. And then we're going to put Bortland in a situation where he has no way out, because he's going to do time. So all we got to do, once we got all three of them out the way, it's just you and I, and the money comes to me because I'm the manager and I disperse it out to you. That's how the industry works. And that's kind of sad.
All right, Tam, you got kind of like interference. Something sounds like.
Yeah, watery. Sounds watery.
I've been in here listening.
It sounds like
water.
Yeah, it's like heavy waves.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's kind of like even before I came on, what she was saying about his personalities, because he has a whole interview that he did and said that he has different personalities. So I don't even know why the defense didn't use that, and the tactics that he's been using while in court kind of corresponds with that. Do I think that he's guilty? I do. But myself being a veteran, I've seen both sides of the table with people that don't have mental health issues and trying to use it to get benefits. And the people that really do, we normally like, we don't just be like, hey, I got this. Hey, I got that. We don't celebrate that because I'm a combat vet. I did OEF and OIF. And we really don't celebrate that, or we don't want that to be exposed about ourselves. We talk about what we talk about with therapists, but this Melly case, if it does get hung, I think this time around, they're going to use his multiple personalities. That's what I think.
I don't think
they should have done that in the beginning, because
I don't think they're gonna use that because that's gonna say, "Oh, my client is crazy and he probably killed him." Their whole thing is he didn't kill him; he wasn't even there. So his multiple personalities doesn't even seem relevant.
I mean, but you got to look at him in a courtroom.
That's a straight guilty plea right there.
Blowing out kisses in the courtroom, joking around, stuff like that. That's what I've been looking at. And I'm like, oh, okay. I see what's
the jury, a lot of the times that he did that when it wasn't in the presence of the jury. So he ain't crazy. He's playing crazy.
You're right. See, that's what I'm talking about. Playing crazy. Playing.
So it's a difference from I'm crazy and the jury sitting here and I'm doing all this stupid stuff to I wait till the jury out and I'm doing all this, stuff.
Yeah.
They're not there no more. So
he has selective craziness.
Yeah, he got
right. See, and that's what I'm talking about what I've saw sometimes when it comes to like veterans and stuff, to where they want to play crazy in order to get them benefits. But you don't want what really goes on when you get them benefits now.
Well, I think this is beyond benefits. I think this is life and death. You know what I'm saying? It's like they trying to put the needle in his arm. So this is beyond benefits. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have did benefits without killing these cats. But he chose this. This is what he chose. And we just got to see his fate at this time. It's way more than that, because PTSD, yes, that's very, very heavy amongst veterans and those who have served or those who has been in domestic, DM situations. But with him, and he was in a DM situation with his.
All right, I'm sorry to pause y'all. I gotta rotate the panel. That wavy sound is driving me crazy, Tam. I'm so sorry.
Bye.
Thank you for coming on. That sound is driving me nuts. Thank you, Blessings. Hot Topic. I'm gonna come back to you also. Some other people. Let me go. Turn it off, Yolanda. I'll come back to you. Missy Pooh. Unmute your mic. Pink Diamond.
Hey, Nick. And my mom has been following this case since the beginning. I do have a question for you. Now, the jury, or from what I could gather from watching the Law and Crime Network, they're talking like that if the jury do not come to a verdict or a decision today, they might be sequestered throughout the weekend. Is that true? Or could they come in Saturday morning and come to a verdict and then they'll be allowed to go home?
They're sequestered until they reach a verdict.
Okay, so they'll be allowed to come home.
No, sequestered means they're sequestered until they reach a verdict. So what happens is they can deliberate during court hours. I think the option for them to deliberate Saturday and Sunday, I think that they said they're able to do the weekend too, but it has to be in the courtroom. They have to deliberate in the courtroom, and then at 5 p.m. they have to be sequestered to a hotel. So if they don't reach a decision today, they get, again, no communication with their family, all of their devices taken. They have to get sequestered to a hotel until they reach a verdict.
Hi, Nick. This is her mom. I wanted to tell you I love you. You're doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
I just want to say this boy is guilty as hell. This boy has evil eyes, and this boy has evil eyes and a devilish smile. I'm telling you, I've been feeling this from the very beginning. He guilty as hell. I just hope and pray that he do not get off.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Pink Diamond and her mama.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Miss J.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Hey.
I just wanted to say, lawyers not allowed to suborn perjury. So I think the reason why the driver of the vehicle wasn't called to the stand saying, hey, I picked Melly up, is because the lawyer knows that didn't happen and he can't legally put him on the stand. The same reason why they did not bring Fredo Bang up on the stand.
What are you talking about?
The defense lawyer. You can't knowingly put someone on the stand who's gonna lie.
But they did do that.
No, but say they had plausible deniability for that guy who went up there. But I'm saying the driver never agreed to say, hey, I picked Melly up. He never agreed to lie. So if it was really the truth, if it really happened, they would have called that driver up and the driver would have said, I picked Melly up.
Well, none of them wanted to talk to the defense. None of them wanted to talk to the prosecution. They all dodged the prosecution for 5 years. So
I agree.
None of them wanted to talk. The driver didn't want to talk. Travion Glass didn't want to talk. Jody, Cody, whoever the heck the other people they named, none of them wanted to talk. The only reason Travion Glass talked is because and this was the prosecution's witness. The only reason that the prosecution was able to get him was because they got a charge on him. Now, Melly's friend, he made a statement to the prosecution saying, hey, he didn't do it. He got in our car. But so that was the defense's witness. The defense, I don't think that they're going to willingly put multiple people in perjury or jeopardy of perjury. They got
that's what I'm saying.
Crash one out, and that's all they wasn't gonna put more people on there to perjure.
No, that's what I'm saying. If the defense really believed their story that Melly got out the car, he went to pee, and the car drove off, he would be willing to put the driver who was awake the entire time saying, yes, I picked Melly up. So I'm saying the
driver wants to be involved in a case at all. A lot of these dudes, they don't want to get on the stand saying nothing.
But I'm saying for the defense, this is your boy. You want to, if you're picking your boy up.
That's up to the driver, though. The driver has to. The driver. Most of these people don't want to be involved in the court case at all. So you can't say they could just get somebody to speak. Most of them don't want to have nothing to do with this, none whatsoever.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying the reason why they don't want to have anything to do with it says everything. If this was really true, if the defense was actually saying, hey, this is what really happened, Melly's innocent, he wasn't there, you would be able to pick someone who said, yes, I picked Melly up. Or Fredo Bang would get up there and say, no, I didn't pick Melly up.
No, not if there's dudes. They don't, if they get up on a stand, then they could be questioned about other stuff. Like you see, they talk about you got a criminal history with this, you got to like they don't want to be involved at all. Like most of these people don't want to be involved at all.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying they don't want to be involved at all, because if they're involved and they tell the real truth,
true.
Melly's going to go to.
Somebody said, you get what she's saying. Y'all don't get what I'm saying. Even if it's the truth, even if Melly really got in their car, most of them don't want to be involved still. They don't want to get up on a stand still, even if it's the truth. Even if they pulled over and Melly really got in their car, these are street dudes. They don't want to test. They don't want that jacket of testifying at all. Like testifying in the streets, whether you copping for Melly or whatever, they don't want to be on the stand. They don't want to have nothing to do with it at all, even if it's true. But yeah, I get what but I guess people get what both of us are saying.
Yeah.
Honda.
Okay.
Yes. I wanted to say I see it a different way.
Wait. All right, pause. Hold up. They got another question.
Says, ask the following question. Ray, exhibit 116 times listed, start and close friend, marked as UTC-4. Does UTC-4 reflect that 4 hours have been subtracted already, or does subtracting 4 hours from start and end times need to be calculated? Signed by the former.
We can answer yes. I think we need to just settle for rely on the recollection test.
I don't have an answer. I agree. So
yes.
All right, so basically what's happening right now, some of the evidence that they put in for the, I think it was Instagram message, the way that, I believe it's Instagram, the way that Instagram logs in their data is in what's called UPC time. So
you want to rely on your recollection of the evidence for my initiative.
No objection, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're in recess.
all right. So basically what they're asking right now, is the way that I believe it's Instagram, like whenever you have your phone, like if I send a text message, my messages are sent from my phone in Pacific time, right? If I take my same phone and I go to Miami or the East Coast, my messages that I sent in Pacific time, they will now read Eastern time. So UTC time is how I believe Instagram is red. So I think they have to subtract 4 hours from that time to get the accurate time that it was in Florida. From my memory of the how it was explained was they subtract 4 hours from the time that the UTC time says. So the jury is asking the judge to get clarification on that. And the judge responded and told them that they need to rely on their recollection. So that's what's going on right now. Boy, ain't nobody speaking gibberish. I know what I'm talking about. You think it's gibberish because you probably just ain't been paying attention to the court. But in the court, they talked about UTC time over and over again. They said that you have to minus the UTC time. You have to minus 4 hours from what I remember. They said you have to minus 4 hours to get the correct time of what time it was in Miami. And this is as it pertains to the timestamps of social media posts. So I think that goes for Facebook. I believe that goes for Instagram. And I believe that also goes for Snapchat, because they also have Snapchat messages. So they are trying to find out the correct time so that they can line up the evidence of when this happened with the time that is logged on social media. Okay. So the jury is still deliberating. If they don't come to a verdict by today, then they will be sequestered. Okay. So if they don't come with a verdict today, they will be sequestered. But I've been paying attention to this trial tooth and nail. I wake up at 6 a.m. I turn this trial on and I watch every piece of the trial, and I'm glued in and I'm paying attention. So I remember when they said that, they say you minus the 4 hours, and that's how you get this. You do this, you get that. I've been watching this trial, baby. Eyes glued to this trial every single day, all the days. My phone be ringing. My mama be calling. I answer, is it an emergency? What's going on? It ain't an emergency. Call you back. I'm watching the Melly trial. My friends called. They say, what's going on? Call you back. Watching the Melly trial. Like, my eyes been glued on the trial, baby. Okay. So we are in recess right now. I don't know if I'm going to stay live. I guess it's only one more hour, I guess, to find out what's going on. But yeah. Miss Pink says, you a detective in your mind? Right. Like, okay, I'll just stay for the extra hour. It's one more hour until they're finished for the day. But I'm like, should I just go back live when they actually have something solid? Because I feel like I'm just sitting here rambling in the meantime. Mo, hello? Mo, are you there? People who come on camera get priority. So Mo, I think his screen is messed up. Gloria said your device is not connected. Yolanda, is there something you wanted to add?
Yes, I just had a couple of questions. I've been following this trial as well. Okay, so if he's the money maker, why would he risk $16 million just to off his friends and get convicted of murder? I'm not saying he didn't have nothing to do with it or it was orchestrated, because he was 19 at the time.
I'm going to stop you right there. He did not raise $16 million. He did not. I don't know, y'all not following a trial. So Melly's manager had, within a 30-month period, get in $16 million. Melly's manager does not only manage Melly, he also manages King Von. King Von recently died and passed away. When King Von died, his streams, his videos, all his projects skyrocketed through the roof. So that $16 million, I don't know how much of it is Melly's. I don't know how much of it is King Von's. They didn't specify. And that's what the detective also said. He said, I can't determine how much Melly made because the manager has other artists. So I don't know if everybody keeps saying Melly has 16 million. That's not true. Okay. Track had 16 million from Track being a manager, and Track has other people. Now, as it pertains to Melly, the portion that Melly made, Sack Chaser and Juvie were not recouping those benefits because the money was in Track's account. Melly didn't have the money in his account. Sack Chaser didn't have the money in his account. Juvie didn't have the money in his account. So the prosecution's theory is to eliminate these other two low-hanging fruit so that the moneymaker could keep making the money, and the people that's trying to get in on the money would be gone. But that's what the prosecution's theory presented. But go ahead, ask your question again if I didn't answer it.
No, you answered that one. And then the next one is about the manager. Okay, it's too many loopholes. It's missing. Why didn't they call him up on the stand? Why didn't they not prosecute him, charge him something? Because something is missing. It's a piece missing, because to me, a 19-year-old from the streets, he ain't said nothing in 5 years that he did this. You can't kill somebody and be like, and not tell on yourself or tell somebody.
Wait. Mr. I'm gonna let you finish, and I'm not gonna pause you again. Mr. Lachlan Bowers, if I said anything incorrect, because I've been watching the trial, whether I think Melly is guilty or not, I'm not going to report what I did not see. I'm not gonna make up stuff just to make him look guilty or make him look away. I'm reporting based on me watching the trial and the evidence and the information that I retain from what I watched. Now, if I said anything incorrect, you are more than welcome to click the link, but I highly doubt that you can clock me on anything that I said incorrect, because I highly doubt that you're even watching it. You're just waiting on if he guilty, not guilty, so that you could just go. But anyways, go ahead, Yolanda.
Yes, because I was like, that's why you got the platforms. We all not gonna agree, we ain't got nothing to do with the trial anyway. So, but we are have opinions. So I really appreciate you having this platform to say it. So what I was saying was, he was 19 at the time. He didn't crack. He didn't go crazy, killing his friends in 5 years. He didn't tell nobody. That it's no evidence, enough evidence to me to put him to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to say.
Right. And I agree. I feel like I've also said that multiple times. I never thought that they got the death penalty angle. Like every time I reported, I said, I don't think that they can get him on the death penalty. I don't think that they've met their burden of proof for the death penalty. The only first time where I'm like, okay, I could kind of see where they connected the dots with the gang hit was yesterday. I mean, not yes. Was it yesterday in closing? Was yesterday in closing. That was the first time I'm like, okay, I kind of see how she kind of tried to connect it together. But I've been saying I don't think that they're going to get the death penalty. Lanny, you keep coming up, but your device is not connected. Missy Pooh?
Hey, me, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. I just, my opinion on it is that I think that it is very unfortunate. I understand that Melly's parents, family, everyone is really all upset, because when you think of him getting the death penalty or him going away for life, it's sad. It's sad. all around. But we do have two individuals who have lost their lives. We have families who have lost loved ones, and we cannot negate the fact that there is evidence. I'm not. I'm not I'm not a lawyer, so it's not my job. I can't pinpoint everything. I've not been glued to it the way you have, but I come on every day and I listen to you, and this is where I stay up to date. And I don't feel like, for the individuals who are saying you're being biased, I really don't believe you have a reason. And I don't mean to sound mean at all, but it's not like you're going to lose any sleep whether he goes to jail for life or whether he come home today or tomorrow. You're just reporting on it. So I get it that he has fans, and when you love people that you love, you want to ride with them to the end of time. That's also like his mom. I mean, even like his friends. But at the end of the day, just like they're going hard for him because they love him, those other individuals, they're going hard for their loved ones as well. Me, myself, I don't believe in a death penalty. I've never put, that shit's not something I don't feel like anybody should have the right, but we have these different things that are in place for crimes like this. So I won't say whether they should or shouldn't. Me personally, I'm not for it, but what I will say is that these young boys lost their lives and someone has to pay. And I'm hoping that it is an eye-opener for our young people. I have a young son, and I always tell him, it's hard to get people to understand that everybody that's smiling in your face, the people that you are around, just because you are around them all the time does not mean they are your friends. You even have some family members who are questionable. And I know it's a very hard thing. Why he did it, I don't know. The whole thing about him having split personalities and this and that and the other, I feel like if at this point you're not on any type of medication, you've not been properly diagnosed, you saying that you have this, that means absolutely nothing. I feel like one day I am who I am, and the next minute I may flip and be someone else, but that gives me no right to go and do something and say, oh, I flipped out. No, we cannot lean on that. We can't. So I don't know. And another thing I wanted to know, Will Fredo, I know you made mention earlier, you said that there are some individuals who just don't want to have anything to do with it, and I understand that. Well, let's say, I know she was a little bit more involved, the
Wait, before you
ex-girlfriend.
answer your question, because you're going into another question, let me
Okay.
address this real quick, because I don't want to keep this on my screen.
Okay.
LaClon Bowers, if I have any mods in the chat, please block this. I don't mind if people disagree, but I don't like when they being slow, because I literally explained the question that they had and said what the judge said, that they have to rely on their recollection. And I said, from my recollection, you have to minus 4 hours to get Eastern time. So what are you talking about? Because that's literally, if this person, they just want attention, okay? If they comment again, please block them, because I don't mind if you disagree, but if you just being slow on purpose, I don't got time. I don't have time. Go ahead, ask your next question.
So what I was wondering is, just out of curiosity, because they said that Fredo was the one who picked him up, will it ever come down? Well, I think we're at the end now, so I'm guessing it won't. I guess I'm a little confused about how there are so many other people who played major roles, but I didn't see any of them take the stand. I don't know if maybe they signed paperwork. That's the part that I'm confused about. And even like the ex-girlfriend's mom, clearly she did not want to be there. Now, she was really tangled in deep because this was the ex-girlfriend and they were really involved and they subpoenaed her. So how is it that they would subpoena her? But let's just say, for instance, Fredo, or even other people, like you said, some of the other friends who were like, they don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm trying to understand, how does that work? Because, I mean, if you are needed to make a decision when it comes to a life or death or being put away, or the family of the victims having clarity and closure, it's a lot of things we don't want to do. How do we determine who we put on the stand and who we say, no, they don't have to get on the stand? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Probably.
Well, what you're saying makes sense, but the difference between them and a guy like Fredo is Fredo didn't, when they brought Fredo in, he pled the fifth, so he didn't make a statement. So if he doesn't make a statement, they can't force him to come in and testify because he pled the fifth and didn't make a statement.
Okay, so he pled the fifth off the top, but the mom actually made a statement and then went back and tried to, got it. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. That's what I was trying to understand. Okay.
Yeah, the mom ended up getting mad because, they said that they was gonna give her some money, and they didn't give her no money. So she said she was gonna blow the whistle off, but then she must have changed her mind because they sent her $5,000, and she did what she was supposed to do on the stand after that.
Okay, and then lastly, and I'm sorry for asking so many questions, but I'm just trying to get caught up. When it comes to perjury, even like the friend that was on yesterday or the day before, clearly we knew he wasn't being honest. Even the mom, we knew she wasn't being honest. How do we, what happens with this? Because moving forward, I mean, what's the whole point? Do you think that they may at some point end up getting in some type of trouble or having to pay the cost for not being honest on being on the stand and just lying, blatantly lying?
If he's proven not guilty, I don't think that they can get him for perjury because they can't prove that he was lying at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know. I would have to look up the law on perjury, but I think that you can only get if he's found guilty and they prove that the theory that he said was a lie, then I think that's when perjury comes into play. But like if there's like a hung jury, or if there is if he's not guilty, how can they prove that he lied if the jury
That's true.
said that
okay.
he told the truth? You know what I'm saying? Like I think that only applies if Melly is found guilty.
That makes sense. That makes sense, Attorney Neek. That makes sense.
Even that's a loophole too, though, because with him making a statement when they first asked him sticking to the same statement he made, it'll still be hard to charge him with perjury because the statement he made is the statement he testified to. Now, if he would have, like, for instance, like if he would have did what like the mother did, which is made a statement, then went against your statement, that's more grounds for them to be able to get you for perjury because you testified to something different than what your statement was. But as far as like what he testified to, it'd be hard for them to prove. Even if Melly gets found guilty, it'd still be hard for them to get him on perjury. If that makes sense.
I think that does on perjury, even if but I think Melly has to be found guilty for them to be able to do it though.
Right.
These people.
I'm saying they could do it, but I'm saying it's harder to do because, like, when he made a statement, like he testified to his same statement. So even if Melly gets found guilty, they can't come back and be like, "Well, he was found guilty, so that means you were lying," because he could. That doesn't. They don't have a ground that they can say what he was found guilty on. That you get what I'm saying? Like they can't say he was found guilty because of this one aspect. If you get what I'm saying, there's gonna be a collection of things for why you get found guilty. So, but if they could, like, if it was just like his statement was such and such and such and such, but it did not say, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if he said like he was there and he wasn't there, and they prove he wasn't there, then they could get him for perjury because they had factual proof that he was lying. But just because he made a statement in Melly's favor doesn't mean that he was factually lying. It just means that Melly got found guilty, even though he said what he said. If that makes sense. Like they would have to actually have physical evidence that he was actually lying about what he said. Like I said, like if a crime was committed, he said he was there and he wasn't, then they have grounds for perjury. But it's hard to get somebody on perjury if you don't have physical evidence to back it up. If that makes sense to what I'm saying.
He doesn't go to the.
It does. Well, I appreciate you guys. And then just real quick, Neek, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? You think it's going to be guilty or not guilty? I feel like you. And again, it's very unfortunate. I hate to see it, but someone has to pay for these people losing their lives. Me personally, I think that it's going to come back. The verdict is going to be guilty because although you don't have a lot of evidence right there, like substantial evidence right there, seriously, someone was sitting there. You're taking him out, but nobody is being replaced. Someone has to pay. So the question is, who will it be? If it wasn't Melvin, who will it be? I've been kind of following Juvie's dad, and I try not to get too deep into it because, again, I don't want to get so connected because it becomes personal when you're looking at the parents and the families of the individuals. I just want to look at it from a broad standpoint, but just kind of looking and listening to some of the things that the dad is putting out without putting too much out, he seems very, very, very confident in knowing that this guy will not walk and will pay the consequences and be found guilty and convicted of the death of these two individuals.
Yeah. Let me share the screen on perjury so I guess we can all get it together at the same time. So they're in Florida. This is the perjury in Florida. Y'all, I can't read this and look at well, I'm gonna try. Hold on, let me turn on law and crime on my phone. so that I can look at the screen. Okay, so they're playing. Let me put this on. All right. Let's do that like that. All right, so let's just read through perjury so that, because shit, none of us are lawyers, so let's just see. All right, so it says perjury in Florida, what constitutes lying under oath? And it says truthful court testimonies are the backbone of the American justice system. Without the truth, there can't be justice. Even so, there are several cases of witnesses lying under oath. In Florida state, perjury or simply lying under oath is a serious offense that comes with severe punishment and hefty penalties. And while in most cases, the difficulty of prosecuting perjury crimes results in the justice system turning a blind eye to false testimonies, even when made under oath, there are times when guilty persons are held accountable. If you've been charged with a crime of perjury in Florida, blah, blah, no, let's read what is perjury. Okay, so perjury occurs when one knowingly makes a false or misleading statement under oath. It says appears before a person who is authorized to administer oaths or affirmations, makes an oath swearing or affirming to only speak the truth, makes a false statement regarding some material matter while under oath, did not believe the statement was true when they made it. So it says knowledge of the statement's materiality isn't an element of the crime, and a defendant's mistaken belief that their statement wasn't material isn't a defense to the charge. Florida law requires that the judge determines the materiality. I didn't even know materiality was a word of a statement, and the jury doesn't have to concern itself with that issue. Perjury is considered a crime against the justice system, given that lying under oath compromises the authority and integrity of the courts. Okay, what are the penalties? An official proceeding involves a government agency, a judicial, legislative, and administrative body, or an official with the authority to consider evidence under oath. This includes judges in a criminal or civil proceeding, magistrate, blah, blah, blah. Perjury, let's see. Okay, perjury in an unofficial proceeding. No, perjury in an official proceeding. There's one situation where the penalties for perjury are even more severe. In official capital prosecution proceeding, the Florida state assigns this offense a level 8 severity ranking under a criminal punishment code. Perjury in an official capital prosecution proceeding is a second-degree felony. It is punishable by a maximum of 15 years in prison, a maximum of 15 years of probation, or a maximum of $10,000 in fines. It says perjury by contradictory statements. Perjury by contradictory statements occurs when someone makes two or more material statements under oath that contradict each other in the course of one or more official proceedings. In such cases, the prosecutor doesn't need to show which. If any of the statements are true, moreover, it is not necessarily a defense that the accused believed their statements were true at the time they made them. In Florida, perjury by, I'm sorry, I keep looking back at what's going on. Okay, nothing's going on right now. All right. So it says in Florida, perjury by contradictory statements is a third-degree felony, which is punishable by up to 5 years in prison, up to 5 years probation, and $5,000 in fines. So this one says defense to perjury. So the specific defenses for the crime of perjury include materiality. Technically, materiality isn't a defense under Florida law, but a threshold issue decided by a presiding judge as a matter of law, such as it can be shown that the false statement didn't relate to the material matter. The perjury charge can be dismissed without a trial. Recantation can be a defense for any perjury charge only if the person making the false statement that the statement is false in the same continuous manner or proceeding. However, the false statement must not have significantly affected the proceeding. Also, such admissions must be made before it becomes clear that the false statement has been or will be exposed. Duress, the defendant could also, okay, so this is for the defendant. What about witnesses? Okay, I think somebody find me where it talks about specifically about witnesses, because that says the defendant. And this isn't really clear. Let me look up witness perjury, because this isn't really that says for a defendant. Hold on. But y'all could go ahead in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean that's all I was saying. Like perjury, like even though it's a crime, like as you see the language that you just read, even for the defendant, like it's so vague that it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, like they rarely do perjury charges when it comes to court proceedings. Like it's very rare that you get someone with perjury charges. Like it happens, but it's very rare just because of the
That
vagueness
sucks.
of the
That
language.
sucks. I get what you're saying, and
Yeah, but
it's
I think
crazy.
that because this is so high profile,
Mm-hmm.
even though that it's rare, being that they already been trying to shake these people down, already put Felicia Holmes in jail, I think that they're gonna try to definitely.
As they should, because we're talking about, like, seriously, we love our loved ones and we do not want to see anything happen to our family. But what if your child is the reason why someone else is mourning right now? I have a kid, and I always tell my kid, I'm going to be really honest with you. I am that mother. So I would hope he would never get in trouble, because if anything ever happens and out my door, I'm that mother. And I know some people look at me strange and say, wow, I don't care. I believe in what's right. And I just believe that you do, a law-abiding citizen, you do right by individuals. Somebody right now is missing their child. I'm not saying that those other kids were perfect. No, I'm not. But it does not give you the right. It's so simple. You could have walked away. You could have got out the car. You could have walked away. You could have cut ties. It's a lot that you could have done. That's really deep, that you just took it upon yourself to take someone's life. And so when I see a mother who stand back and just support it, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to love your kid. That's not what I'm saying.
Wait
But
a
what
minute.
kind of examples are we setting?
What's going on? I don't know what he said before that. I had to bring it back on the screen. All right, so the jury has requested to view the traffic video to see what time the car passes.
Juror's entry.
So it looks like from the pinned comment.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Please be seated. Let the record once again reflect the appearance of the defendant, his counsel, the assistant state's attorney, ladies and gentlemen, the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for evidence here. It says you requested the traffic video from 595 to see what time the Jeep and Mitsubishi passed the express lane cameras. We attempted to pull up the footage on a laptop, but it would not play. I'd ask counsel to secure that portion of the evidence for you, and it will be replayed for you now. You ready, counsel?
334:53.
How long is this footage? I don't remember. I feel like this footage, when they played it originally in court, was a very long time. Do y'all remember? Do you remember, Dre?
No, I just remember it was a long time. I know, if I'm not mistaken, I know it was like between 6 to 10 minutes that they had it up there. So I don't know the exact time.
Oh, okay, because they had one that was on there forever.
Yes. Defense, yes. Does that complete the publication?
Not really, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can go back to the jury room. Continue your deliberation.
Well, they mainly just wanted to know what time it passed, so they got straight to the point.
Yeah. So what she did was she just forwarded it to that time. Like, that's basically what she should have did in the trial, but she definitely cut that video. Just like the monetary video, when they passed the monetary school, that was the one that was real long, where they had to plan for like 20 minutes.
It's like, get to the point where we see the cars.
We're in recess.
All right, so they are continuing to deliberate. They want to see what time that they went through that light.
That was a toll roll.
Verdict? Are we expecting a verdict today?
We got 30 minutes until they're 30 minutes to the end of the day. If they don't find, they have to be done by 5.
Yeah,
5:15. I think 5:15 for today.
My bad. Yeah, that video they just showed was them getting on the toll road in Florida. Is that I forgot the name of it. It's a toll that you get to take you from a certain point to get to that point in Broward County they was at.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I believe today's 5:15. And then they'll be sequestered if they don't reach a verdict today. They'll be sequestered.
So I've been following Neek and Dre. Nice to meet you. First time ever meeting you. I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts? What do you think ultimately the verdict will be? I know it's only our thoughts and opinions, but I'm just curious to see what are your thoughts? And Neek, what do you think it'll be ultimately? I think I know, but I'm just wanting to hear direct.
I think that he's guilty, but what I think the verdict will be, now that they're doing all of this stuff, I feel like they've really taken it serious now. I think at first they was like, listen, if we can't come to a conclusion, what's going to be? But I think them realizing that we're going to declare this a mistrial, I think it sounds like they're really trying to like, okay, let's really get through this, because they probably really want to be sure. Go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, I mean, I feel exactly what you're saying, Neek, but at the same time, with the time being so short, it's gonna be hard for them to do it if they were that far apart. Like, because if they come with a verdict now, then that means they were never far apart in the first place. So I got a feeling they're gonna get sequestered.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know, but I think he's guilty.
Oh yeah, he's guilty for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing about trials. Like that's what I was going to talk to you about earlier. Like, what a lot of people don't understand is, like, when the defense attorney was doing all that and they opened the arguments, like basically mucking up the prosecutor and the detectives and all that. That was really the angle of what they were bringing to the case. So what they were doing was not trying to present their evidence. Hold on. They weren't going to sit here and say that he wasn't in the car and all the stuff, like when they opened it up, because they wanted to basically expose the prosecution for lack of a case that they tried to present. So what the evidence they already had, they knew about the
they wanted to move for a mistrial before they showed all their cards.
Yeah, like they was basically what they was trying to do was trying to nip it in the bud before it even started. They were trying to murk it up. So like that's what they were doing. That's why they didn't bring out that they was gonna bring AD or that they was gonna say he wasn't in the car because they were trying to hope for a mistrial, then come with that. That wasn't their plan A. So like the fact that they're changing what's going on, defense attorneys do that all the time in trials. Like if you're in trial, right, and what you're trying to hammer is not working for you, you pivot to something else because you don't want to keep working on the same angle because it's leading you nowhere. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely does.
Kids on TV, you're new here. I don't have a predominantly male audience, so I don't expect you to be sticking around after I cover this case anyways. So I honestly don't care what you feel about me being biased or whatever. I think he's guilty, not because I have a bias against Melly. I think he's guilty because I watched the facts. And so I'm not held under journalism to lie about how I gathered the facts. I've looked at the facts. I think he's guilty based on the facts that I used my common sense to ascertain. Now, if you feel like I'm biased, then you free to go to Law and Crime because they cater to Melly. Go straight to their channel because I don't expect you to be here after the trial anyways because I have a mostly female audience anyways, Kizzo, so I don't give a damn what you're talking about, to be honest with you. But anyways, go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, and to that point right there, I mean, I knew who you was before I came up here because my wife actually watched you a lot, so I watch you with her a lot, so that's why I came up here and wanted to support. But yeah, as far as like what I was saying though, but like yeah, it's crazy because for people to be sitting here saying that they don't have any evidence or you're biased, like it's crazy to me because if you look at the facts, bro, it's hard. It's hard for them to prove that he had nothing to do with this, especially when they got thousands of pictures on the phone, videos. They have your phone on the scene. They have that somebody was sitting in the back seat of the car. They have that the whole incident was staged. You and your best friend changed clothes. Like, bro, it's a lot of circumstantial evidence that points their way. So for people to say it's no evidence,
not only did
that's being biased.
They lied about where it happened at. They said it happened in this area. The police went out there. Nothing happened in that area. They had to investigate to find out where it really happened at. If you got you got in a drive-by, why are you lying about where you got shot at? Especially if you literally, your man's is dead. So why lie about where you got shot at? And why, if you got in a drive-by, why is the other guy MIA? Like, I'm going off.
It's like, make it make sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And these are your friends. You will be going above and beyond trying to figure out, if it were me, even Borland, when he was being interrogated, when he was at the hospital, like I would have been more, you just would have got a different reaction. And then the next day you're the video shoot. You didn't go to the funeral. It's just way too much. It's too much. It's there. Like, even if I don't have the evidence right here in front of me, my common sense tells me, because God gave us that, my elevator go up. I may even look at you and say, Nick, we ain't really got much to, but listen, that dude did it. He did it. He did it. Y'all lied about where it happened at.
Hold on, wait, let me see. Let me read this one. I don't think they cater to Melly. I think as lawyers, they think differently as to whether they think he's guilty or whether the state has proven the case. Most of the people that they put up that be pro Melly don't be the actual lawyers. Like YNW Terry, I don't think that she's a lawyer. If she is, I'm mistaken. But most of the people who like they constantly keep regurgitating them on the panel, a lot of them don't be lawyers. But a lot of the lawyers that are actual lawyers, they talk from both sides. Like they talk from, okay, the defense made a good argument here. The prosecution made an argument there. When I say they cater on the network, I'm talking about who they play the most. Who they play the most. And the most that they play is Terry. And she, even if the prosecution makes a good point, I think they like, it's like, girl, come on. Like, she don't look at nothing objectively. The actual lawyers are looking at it objectively. I'm talking mainly about the correspondence. T Love, go ahead.
Hey Nick, thank you for allowing me on your platform here. I wanted to ask what your thoughts were in terms of what the like with all the questions that they keep coming back and asking, are they trying to, because I'm going to be honest, I got lost a lot of times during the trial. I think the prosecutor was overwhelming a little bit sometimes, and it got a little confusing. And even in her closing, you know, we know that people have short attention spans. So people were probably kind of coming in and out with their attention. Do you think that they're trying to establish a timeline to see if what the friend was saying is even feasible, given the time that they showed up on camera at certain places, and it wouldn't even be possible for them to have stopped? And then I had another question, but what are your thoughts on that?
I think that when they first came and the judge was like, if y'all don't come to agreement, I'm going to have to be forced to declare a mistrial.
Right.
I think that they probably thought, okay, let's take this a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. So it's overall, you think it's all the evidence that they're kind of scrutinizing a little bit, not just trying to get a timeline?
I think before they like, okay, you think guilty, you think not guilty. Okay, let's okay, we can't come to agreement, and they're thinking about themselves selfishly. But because they have been there this long, it's been an hour and a half since that. I think that now they're like, okay, if we let him go off of this, because a lot of them don't know that mistrial means it's going to get tried again.
Right.
Some of them probably are thinking like, okay, if we do a mistrial, we're letting him go free. So let's take this more serious, you know?
And then, dang, I forgot what my other question was. I think I was just saying with the defense, because I agree.
That's my thoughts, though. I'm not in the jury room, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just what I think.
Yeah, no, of course.
They just went back and said, all right, yep, we can't come to a decision. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And then like with the defense, because I am with the majority. I personally think that he's guilty. But that was my question, because I'm kind of comparing, and I know you can't compare because they're two completely different cases. In the other case, the guy actually took the stand, and I agreed with the outcome with that. But I was just thinking of the Travis Rudolph case where the way that the prosecutor laid everything out, those jurors were there like 3 hours and came back with the not guilty verdict. So on everything. So the fact that it's taking this long and they're kind of have so many questions, I think to your point, they are taking it more seriously, but I think that they're really confused. I think that they're really, struggling. It's not as I don't know that the prosecutor, because there's like different, and that was going to be my other question. Do you know what the jury is comprised of? Like what their ages, genders, races, like, because there's different cultural aspects. There's just a lot of different.
That the information that I got about the jury is it was like half and half, and it said people of color. It said, I think it was like 7 people of color and 7 non-people of color, and I think that was including the alternates. The alternates are now, they're not technically excused, but they're
yeah.
But they just said when they reported the jury, they just said 7 people of color, 7 non-people of color. People of color could be Hispanic.
Yeah. What Asian, Middle Eastern. Yeah.
Thing it doesn't mean black. So
yeah.
I kind of wish that they would have specified black, Asian. They didn't do that. They just said people of color, non-people of color. And those of you guys who are black, y'all be assuming people of color mean black. That's
no,
not
it doesn't. No.
People of color means
everything else. Everything other than white. Everything. Oh man. Because that's what I'm thinking too. It's just a lot of cultural. People are probably like, well, why, like you had to kind of explain as well. Why didn't the manager testify? Why didn't this one testify? Why didn't that one? And they're not understanding that the cultural aspect. So that may be causing some conflict as well. So
yeah, let me see if there's a more specific answer, because when I seen the jury, I just seen like 7 and 7. Brian W. Melly jury consists of
And I agree. I personally feel that he's, guilty, but I I don't know if the defense did it, with saying that the lead detective was intimidating people, and then he just kind of, just because at first I thought maybe just them having just one witness looked bad, but I think what they're saying is we don't even have to refute. I mean, they made challenges during the trial, but we don't even have to fight everything that they're saying. The phone wasn't with him and he wasn't in the car. So even if the phone was being tracked to all these locations, he was gone. So as long as they can put that little seed of doubt in there, that gives, to some people, it would suffice as reasonable doubt. And maybe that's what they're struggling with. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, it's a jury of all different people, like you said, from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different interpretations of things. So I'm trying to find. I don't see it exact. So if you guys know the actual jury, let me know. Missy Pooh?
Yes, ma'am. I guess I'm just here too, and I'm reading some of the comments, and it really is wild to me. I'm seeing how everybody is saying, not everyone, let me correct that. A lot of people are saying that you're being biased, and I'm like, why? I've been here, like I said, I'm not able to watch it and stay on top of it as much as I can. But when I want to come and go from point A to point B to see exactly what the day consisted of, I watch it and I catch up, and I never get biased. And I'm thinking to myself, Nick doesn't even know Melly. She's just reporting on it. So I'm confused why anyone would think that you would be biased as to whether or not. You strike me as the type of person that you're just reporting on it, but even outside of this case, you want to just see the right thing be done. That's what I get. That's what I get.
Bias for these people in the chat is you don't agree with my side, so you bias.
Absolutely.
Bias for me is I could tell when a person is not being objective to either side, and they're not even considering the evidence. The people in when Terry talks on Law and Crime, she don't even be objective at all. Never, no way. Because it's points where it's like, okay, when the defense had the first trajectory guy, they cooked him. When the defense had the ballistics expert that was talking about how a gun is made, the inside of the gun, the defense cooked him. When who else did they have? They had a few people that they put on that the defense completely cooked. Then the prosecution put on the nurse who talked about the kill shot. The prosecution, I feel like, won that. The prosecution won with the trajectory. So for me, I'm able to see where the defense had pickups, and I'm able to see where the prosecution had, points where they like redeemed themselves. But when I look at bias, it's like you can't even look at neither side objectively at all. That's bias. But these people in the chat, that's not their definition of bias. Their definition of bias is I'm a Melly fan. You don't agree with me. You don't just disregard the evidence, so you're biased. That's what
And they think they know it all. Not like I said, I have a son, teen, and he's like trying to talk to me about the case, and he's like, "No, man, you just don't understand. They don't have this. They don't have that." I'm looking at him like, "Son, you have a lot more living to do. A lot more living to do. They don't have to have a gun. In some cases, they don't even have to have a body. In some cases, they don't have to have a body. It's the evidence that's presented, and the prosecution." The lady knows what she's talking about. It's just that she goes all.
Let me correct this person again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I did not say that they cooked the trajectory expert. And if I misspoke, then let me correct myself. The first expert that they had up there that had the dial rods, and they was like, what angle was the shooter? Was he this tall? Was he this tall? Was he this tall? He made him get from beside the stand. The very first guy, he was an older guy. He was very Southern. He had like a thick accent. They cooked him. So if I said trajectory guy, I meant the guy with the dowel rods. Okay, the guy with the dowel rods, they cooked him. So that's what I'm talking about. And let me correct myself because that's what I'm talking about. The nurse and the trajectory guy, the prosecution won that. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, there was experts that got cooked. The guy who talked about they had the gum and they put the gum up on the seat and then they pulled, he cooked that guy. That guy was, he looked dumb as hell, stupid as hell. Like he didn't even answer nothing correctly. Like, please, they cooked him. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they definitely did. I think the prosecution, she did. I'll be honest, it was like she was just so long-winded, and she took you all around the mulberry bush just to get you right back here. So she lost some people. But what this lady was saying, it was factual, and I was kind of confused because some of the things that were like over, they were not allowing her to speak. I was wondering, like, why is the judge doing that? At one point, I was just like, that it does seem like everything is kind of working in his favor. Again, I just want to see the rightful person be held liable who did it. If he did not do it, somebody did it. So that's what we got to figure out. But it's looking like it looks like everything is pointing towards him. And where is Bortland? Is Bortland, he's not in jail right now. He's out right now.
He's on house arrest.
He's on house arrest. So my next thing is, if we don't get a verdict or if there is no verdict and they have to do another retrial, do you think there's a possibility that Melly may be granted house arrest, or you think they may think he's a liability?
That's up to the judge. The reason why he's in jail and Bortland is not is because Bortland didn't have a prior criminal record.
Okay.
Melly
Got it.
had a prior record with knives, guns, all this stuff, getting in trouble. He had, he already was working up a record already. So that was used in that. So the judge could still deny it because he was,
And so now the manager who returned back to the place with him where the incident happened, is he just excluded as well? Or what's track or whatever his name is, where they said that it showed that their phones went back to the place where I guess the shooting happened. Well, he wasn't there, so
I saw YNW Terry, because I was watching Long Crime, and he showed up for closing arguments, and they asked YNW Terry basically, what did she get a chance to talk to Track, and she asked him, why did he just now show up now? And he basically said that he didn't show up because he didn't want to be called as a witness. So he purposely was avoiding being made available to be a witness. So.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what up, Nick? This ATG. How you been? But I think it's gonna end in the mistrial. I think that's why they taking so long, because they got phone DNA. The phone DNA is juicy, but it's like, you got to piece together the puzzles: who, what, when, where, how, why, and they missing the how. Yeah, they know they were shot, but if they don't have the weapon, they don't have it for him shooting them. They usually, that's a juicy part for a jury. If you missing the weapon and then there's no DNA on that, no nothing that we can account for, it's like, what did he kill him with? You just saying he shot him, but with what? It's not making no sense to as far as that part goes. But that's why I think it's gonna be a mistrial, because they missing that one little juicy part. And but then again, the phone DNA is like, once a lot of people don't realize how lethal the phone is. Like the phone is a powerful mother sucker. That thing, they can pull up your phone as if they got your phone in their hand, and they can pull up the last stop of your GPS. So I don't know. It would have been wise to me to use burner phones, but they didn't. So they got that man's phone pinging all the way up to, then the defense could have said, since the other people's phone wasn't on, Melly lended them the phone. So Melly didn't really have his phone, but he didn't say that. The defense was kind of weak. they ain't really come to his defense like they should have. So, but I don't know. It's like, my bad. I'm trying to roll up, but I don't know. It's
I'm
like,
trying to roll up.
but I think it's gonna be a mistrial. Like, I really do. I think that's why they take it so long. I think it's a couple of people back there that's like, I don't got the murder weapon, and I don't know. So that's my opinion of it.
And what exactly does it mean? What do you
Hi,
take
Nick.
from?
How are you?
Oh, go ahead. Let Natasha speak. Go ahead.
Hello, Nick. Hi, Nick. How are you? This is my first
I'm
time here.
good.
Hello, everyone. For me, the thing is, a lot of jurors don't know the process. A lot of don't know everything. So I
Very,
think the reason
very.
why they're deliberating for so long.
You gotta come out, go out, and come back
Can
in,
you hear me?
Natasha. You got a bad connection.
Oh, okay.
Go out and come back in. Yeah, her sound was all jacked up. Let me see. All right, so we have reached 5:00 there. I think they're going to 5:15 today. This is the last 15 minutes until we know whether or not they're gonna reach a verdict today. We got 15 minutes, y'all. We down to 15 minutes to see.
And you said, that they're gonna sequester the jury, right? To my recollection, that means that he's gonna oh no, you said that if they don't come to a decision, the judge is gonna grant the mistrial, or he's gonna sequester the jury.
Sequester if they don't come to that. Yeah, anybody can
And
come on. You said Hassan said, Nick, should I come on? Yeah, come on.
and I'm
Oh.
sorry, and real quick, Nick. And
Huh?
to my recollection, sequester means he's gonna hold the jury there until they come to a decision, right? He's not gonna let anybody leave.
Yeah, the hotel.
Okay.
Nick, can you would you mind, would it be okay to ask it to do a poll on how many think that it's going to be a mistrial?
Most of the poll is going to say, because most of the poll is going to say mistrial because of
what the judge said.
What's going on right now?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because now I got to be honest, I'm starting to lean toward that too.
Yeah, they're
just getting a little nervous.
They were a more honest questions of what they thought if we would have asked that yesterday, but right now,
yeah,
are going to automatically say
that makes sense,
and that's just based off of the obvious of where we at, you know. Anybody could have something. I don't know who that is. Turn your camera on and turn it off so I know you're not a troll. I don't know who you are. Anybody could have. You turned. I don't see nothing. You turned it on and I don't see anything.
Hello? Oh.
They showing me a hand. You're not shown to the You're not shown to the audience yet. Let me see who you are. Okay, go ahead. You can turn it off. You can turn your camera off. All right, go ahead.
All I'm saying is anybody could have gotten that back seat. Melly could have took off running, had his friends already told him something don't seem right. Come get me. Anything. They don't have all the text messages. They only have what was left in that phone. Hold on, my AirPod just went out. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so anybody could have gotten that back seat and did that. They don't have enough evidence. If he get found guilty, then all of his friends gonna get found guilty because they all said that he was not there. So how are they gonna go against the main witness who said he wasn't there, the other witness who said they picked him up and he wasn't there, and they're making assumptions.
They're going off of his cell phone that he kept.
His cell phone didn't have any gunpowder on it.
Yeah, but it got the DNA on it, the travel log.
But
You
did he
got
have
like,
house and find any gunpowder on any of his items?
no, and that's why I think that it would be.
No, listen, wait. The crime happened in October. Melly was not made available to turn himself in until February.
Okay. It still doesn't matter. Did they check his friends who came in to give a statement for gunpowder? Did they check that red car for gunpowder?
That does matter. What are you talking about? That does matter. If
No,
they didn't call him
the
in,
red car for
how they
gunpowder.
gonna find the gunpowder if he didn't? They didn't even call him in until way later. He won't have
Okay, so they
gunpowder.
didn't do
That
their
does
job
make sense.
correctly. Why are you trying to put somebody in jail and you didn't even do your job correctly? Like
It's
they
not
had
about them not doing the job. They didn't have all the information at that time. Or are you a detective? Do you understand the process?
obviously not. I'm not a detective, duh.
Okay, then
You're
you
not
should
one
learn the
either.
process. Obviously, you need to learn the
You
process.
just
It
made
takes
an
a
assumption
long
on
time.
me. Am I a detective?
I don't do that type of investigation, but I do financial investigation. It takes some time.
Financial? This ain't got nothing to do with finances.
I'm just letting you know things take time.
This
A
has
lot of
nothing
things
to do
take
with
time.
finances.
The thing is, the guy said he did it. He said, I did that right after the murder. What do you need?
It wasn't written the same way he texts though.
What are you, an idol or something? An idol worshiper?
Idol? I don't give a damn about nobody, but it's the facts right here. It's not showing.
It is showing. The lady gave you so much detail, so much incriminating detail. The cell phone is going to be the reason that leads him to jail if he's in prison.
The cell phone is almost
cell
as
phone.
good as gunpowder. Like the cell phone DNA is just as good as gunpowder almost because in this new age, because
That's
we're
a
in
verbal.
2023.
Right. And that's where I was going
Okay,
with it
so
before
when did the
someone
friends
else
go?
came in. I said, what do you think about when he said, I did that? Shh. Like, come, let's be honest. Like, if we're going to be a fan, we can love him to death.
Let her get her theories off. Not everybody jump on her at once. Let her get her theory off. Go ahead.
I done lost my train of thought. How they just keep. She's a financial advisor. What?
I never said financial advisor. See, you have a hard time of hearing.
I'm a detective.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You have a hard time of hearing and understanding stuff.
What else financial detective got to do with this? This ain't got nothing. You were making an assumption just like the courthouse. You were
Just
making
like
more.
you without listening. You need to
without
listen
listening
more.
to what, girl? I'm looking right at it like you.
But I didn't say I was a financial advisor, so you're not listening.
Am I a criminal now?
I'm not saying that. You just have a hard time of listening to facts. That's the problem.
But I'm saying I'm going off what I think.
Okay, tell us what you think again. Go ahead.
Okay, once I repeat it again, they didn't find any gunpowder on anything Melly had. I heard that his friends were trying to set him up to kill him, but I don't know. I'm just hearing from people who probably just talking. So if they were trying to set him up to kill him and they ended up getting killed, what did that tell you?
What do you go?
People they only think about it one-sided, but I don't know. Right now,
confused by that.
To be honest, Nick, the problem I'm having with this whole investigation is Melly not speaking. He's not telling nothing. What happened to him when he went inside that? When he went inside that car. Hold on. When he jumped inside that car, which we saw the videotape. What happened to them at that point? How did
you tell me? You tell me that. No, because
hold on,
you
lady. I'm talking to Nick. Hold on. I'm talking to Nick. Once he jumped into that car, Nick, what happened to them after that? Because the only thing we can figure out is the phone ping. That's it. He's not even speaking. He's not saying what he did or whatever. The only way we're able to determine that.
Well, he did kind of speak. The speak came through Anthony Davis. He said that Melly peed and got in a car. That's Melly.
Which he said, okay, the guy jumped out for a bathroom break.
Yeah, he had to use the bathroom.
And you believe that? I mean, that came in after the prosecutor said, okay, what happened after that? He doesn't even have anything. I just think that lawyer pulled that out of his ass.
Tell me how he did it and tell me how he got out the car. Because since you know it all, let's go.
Who, me?
Since Melly did it, since we all know he's guilty.
I didn't say that. The thing that the missing puzzle piece is. So you're not listening again. That's the problem with you. You talk more than you listen.
Prosecutor, come on with it then.
What I'm asking Neek, not you, Neek, okay, because she understands the process, unlike you, Neek. What I need to understand is, since he himself
before,
she keeps interrupting, she talks more than she's listening.
First of all,
I can't speak to a person
so
that
if you've
talks
never
more
been
than
sitting in
they
that
listen.
seat when Melly was sitting there, you might not never understand, honey.
I think you need to go back to school and understand the process. Then we can talk.
I've been to school. I graduated medical school.
Right. You would probably be the lowest in your class.
So you talking about?
What's your mental process?
What school you talking about?
Okay, Miss Neek,
Go
as
back
I
to
was,
school.
I'm talking to Miss Neek. We're talking about serious stuff.
Okay, so you want
Stop
to talk about
emotionally
school, let me
ranting
know
right
which
now.
one
You're
to go
an
to.
emotional wreck right now. You want it your way. I'm talking to Neek.
Emotional wreck. You
Can I
are.
speak to Neek, please?
This girl
Could you
here
be
crazy.
quiet for a second?
She crazy.
Miss Neek, can I talk to you? Is it okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, my question for you, since you've been watching the trial, okay, and you speak, everything is about facts when it comes to you, because you watch it, you say exactly what was said. What I saw was, okay, we all saw the video of Melly. He had the phone in his hand. He had his satchel. He was the last person to jump in that car. What I saw him get into the car with the other three guys, and then we also saw videos of them in the interstate, right? 75, whatever interstate that is. And we just saw both cars just driving. That's it. The only thing that's giving us more information is the phone. As far as that AB guy's testimony, the Davis guy testimony, to me, it's not credible. And also, I think the attorney the reason why he's just pulling things out of his ass at that point. Oh, they keep asking where Nelly was. He just did a bathroom break. Okay, how come it's not showing on the phone? The bathroom break, wherever he stopped. Why is it not showing that in the phone? Oh, I forgot. It's not his phone. It's a community phone. But yet we see all his pictures, all the evidence of him texting his mom, calling his mom. We see all the communication. The text messaging is very incriminating to me.
His attorney said that when Melly went to go pee, he set his phone on a seat and Cortland drove off.
But how come we didn't see that on the pings? Why don't we see that part in the cell phone? Because the thing is with the cell phone, it shows everything.
Counsel, my understanding from talking to our bailiffs is that because of the sequestration, they need to take the jury to the hotel. Otherwise, they missed it or something like that. At 5:15, you said the latest. So it's 5 or 10 minutes from now, and well, less than 5 minutes from now. In any event, what I want to confirm with you again is that they're going to take the jury. They'll excuse them now. There's no need for me to bring them back in the courtroom, correct? Correct. Yes. So they'll just take them to the jury room, to their hotel room. They'll feed them tonight. They'll make their phone calls as they typically have done. They make phone calls to stay observed and things like that. And then they're going to be back here after breakfast tomorrow morning. They'll be back here.
Between 8:30 and 9.
Between 8:30 and 9. Again, my question is, can I do it like today, where the attorney is not involved in it? We'll call you when we need you, and the bailiff just puts you back in the jury room, and you'll be on, let's say, a half-hour notice. Is that good for everybody?
That's good. You okay with that? That's good.
Yes, Mr. Davis, you understand? Yes, sir. All right. So that's what we'll do. They'll just we'll do it the same way we did today, and when we need you, if something happens, we'll call you. All right. And Gary, you're going to be here tomorrow, right? Yes, sir. Do you have all the phone numbers? Yes, I do. All right. So if something happens, are you going to be here tomorrow morning, or yes, you'll be here? Okay, we'll be here. I'll be here. All right.
I answer all, Judge.
All right. Well, I know you were here this morning early, then you had to run this delivery, but you were here first thing. But in any event, we'll do it the same way, and your counsel, they'll get here within a half hour. All right? Yes. All right, counsel, is there anything else to discuss then?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's 5:15. Yes.
I think you guys.
All right, so as I told you guys, they are going to be sequestered now until tomorrow. So when they get sequestered, they can't deliberate, they can't talk about the case, they can't form an opinion about the case while they're sequestered. They only can form an opinion about the case and deliberate about the case when they're in the delivery room. So that is going to proceed tomorrow, 8:30 and 9, between 8:30 and 9. So We don't have an answer today.
If they didn't give an answer today, they not gonna give one tomorrow because they're gonna be looking at the same evidence that they was looking at today. I think it's gonna be a mistrial.
No, I think by tomorrow, goddamn, they should be able to get through the stuff tomorrow.
I don't know. I really feel in my heart there's at least two people that's holding up the verdict. Huh?
It could be a mistrial, but whatever it is, we're gonna find out. I think tomorrow. I don't think that it's gonna go beyond tomorrow. That's my prediction. I didn't think it was gonna go past today. But, so I don't think it's gonna go past tomorrow. But he's fried chicken. What do you want to say before we break? He's fried chicken and Leah haven't spoke, so I'm gonna let you guys speak before we wrap. He's fried chicken. Somebody said the best chance for a mistrial would have been today. I think right now it probably coming down to death penalty, not death penalty. For real, for real. I don't know. I think they trying to decide, do we want to cook him or do we just want to book him? Leah, go ahead if you want to talk. If not, we're gonna wrap.
I was just coming on to say I know somebody personally that was on trial for murder, and the judge was iffy about giving the Allen charge, and they ended up giving it, and they got a verdict, I think, like a few hours later, and he won on appeal. So I think regardless if he's found guilty, they have a better chance at winning on appeal due to giving the Allen charge.
Mm-hmm. Explain the Allen charge for the people who may not know what you're talking about.
So the Allen charge is where they can't come to a decision. The judge basically sends them back, and it's kind of like he's an authority figure, so the jury, they take it as kind of maybe it's against the laws. How I think the trial I'm talking about, how he won the appeal, I think is that way. They kept sending him back. You just got to keep looking at the evidence, keep deliberating, and they just keep sending him back. And so there was one person that was not guilty, and they ended up winning on appeal, and then they were able to charge him again for the charge that he was found guilty for.
I think if it has to come down to a guilty and the death penalty is definitely attached to the guilty, there's somebody back there that doesn't feel like there's enough evidence to put him down, because there's a difference from guilty and life and guilty and death. So
That's
I think
what's taking so long.
you're right. I think there was going to be somebody back there struggling with, there's no murder weapon. I don't know. Is there enough for me to really feel guilty enough to make this person guilty and put them to death? That's going to be
You
an
just hit
issue.
the nail on the head. You just hit the nail. I was part of a juror, and it was the guy. A guy was a Hispanic guy, didn't speak any English, and so we had a translator. And I'll be honest, the person that they had, I didn't feel comfortable with it, so I stepped away. So they had to redo everything all over again. I don't believe that people have a doubt in their mind that this guy is guilty. What I do think is that, I will be honest, death penalty, a whole different ball game, because some people it's against their beliefs. Just seriously, like, because I even said it.
Right.
I don't condone it. I think it's horrible what happened. But do I think that you take two lives? Okay, that means we take your life. Because we take your life, that's still not gonna bring them back. So some people have a hard time with that, and that's where this hung jury is gonna come from. If there is a hung jury, some people do not want to feel like they have the death of someone on their hands, because they're gonna make that decision. They're gonna play a part in it, and it's bigger than that for a lot
Where'd
of
she go?
people.
She cut out.
Yeah, it's people. Some people they can't handle it. I'll be honest. The way my nerves are set up, I wouldn't be able to handle it either. I will give you my verdict as far as guilty, but I will be very hesitant if you say, okay, well, if you say he guilty, we fixing to lay him down tonight. Now I'm like, dang, well, wait a minute. Now I said he was guilty, but I don't know if I want to go along with being the reason why this man.
Like the jurors are now becoming murderers too. So that is
that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow.
People ain't getting
Especially if there is a lack or some sort of doubt. Like, in order for somebody like that to want to find someone guilty and sentence them to death, they would need the time, the date. They would need the who, what, when, where,
We
how,
need
and
all
why,
the
and they
I's
don't have
dotted
the
and the
how.
T's crossed.
Right,
We
they
need
don't
to
have the
know that
how
we
because the
know.
murder weapon is gone. Right,
All
so in order,
wait
right.
a second, y'all. I'm gonna leave the panel up backstage if they want to talk. If you guys want to talk backstage, give your opinions. I'm gonna end the actual stream though. Y'all always get mad when I just end abruptly, so I'm just letting y'all know. We still gonna chill backstage. But my prediction tomorrow, I'm sticking with my gut. I think he's gonna be found guilty. It's still up in the air. If it's a mistrial, then obviously I was wrong. But I'm gonna stick to my gut. I think right now they are deciding whether to cook him or to book him. And I think that we'll get a verdict by tomorrow. Again, I'm not the jury, so they could go for weeks. There's some juries that go for weeks on end, but it's over for today. I think we'll have an answer for tomorrow. If you guys support my channel, if you support my coverage, y'all know y'all can always show love by hitting the like button, sending in a super chat. That helps me out a lot. These videos sometimes don't get monetized. So if y'all come in and y'all, support me, that helps me come kick it with y'all, a little bit more. So if y'all want to listen to the commentary backstage, click the link. Other than that, I'm gonna talk to y'all
real quick, Nick, real quick. I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing. So do you have a